Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. We head on into our first interview this morning, and we have joining us online marine biologist Farahnaz Solomon as we speak to bull shark behavior coming out of that incident which took place here quite recently in Tobago. Good morning to you and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning indeed. So as we get the conversation started, we kind of diving right on over from where you sit as a marine biologist and your area of expertise. I want you to start by what might have been that very immediate and initial reactions when you first heard of the situation that would have taken place here in Tobago. Certainly not commonplace at all.
Exactly, very rare. I was alarmed, to be honest, first reaction. And one of the reasons was that we were actually, for work, I was actually in Tobago for the last 2 weeks and we were diving every day. And I'll be honest, we are always excited to see sharks in the water. They are a very rare occurrence. They are large animals. They are, they pique our interest. So we were kind of like channeling on some of the days we were like, maybe we will see a shark today. That was something we were looking forward to. And so when I heard this, I was alarmed. I was also some of the images of the injury were out early as well. So when I saw that, I think that added to some of the to some of the alarm, and I was actually scared. I was like, we were in the water last week and we were calling sharks. I think one of the for us, shark. I think this is the first recorded shark attack for Trinidad and Tobago. We do not have any records of a shark attack previously, and I've always felt safe in our waters. And maybe for that day or so, I was I was alarmed, more or less. Yeah.
Miss Solomon,
So that was my.
of course, this is not the type of encounter you would want to have with a shark, as a marine biologist diving and,
Yes.
excited to come across sharks. And as you mentioned, this is
Yes.
probably the first recorded shark attack in our waters. We've never had an incident like this recorded. And, sometimes we're wondering, how could this have happened? What was the causes of this happening? Are we talking here about the behavior of bull sharks? But before we get into that, what are the characteristics of a bull shark? How was it identified as a bull shark and so quickly? Because it was soon after the incident was reported that the identification of the type of shark was recorded. So how do you identify this type of creature?
I imagine so the attack occurred in an area I think that's frequented by fishers. So fishermen definitely they would know bull sharks are harvested by fishers, so fishers would know how to ID a bull shark. The general public as well. If you
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We do apologize for that technical issue, but we are back with Ms. Farahnaz Solomon, marine biologist, as we continue conversations this morning about the behavior of bull shark. Are you there? Welcome back.
yes, I am. I'm not sure where we got cut off though. We were talking about IDing bull sharks. Was that it?
That's where we got cut off. That's right.
Right. And I was saying that people who follow sharks or who are fans of sharks, they can very easily ID a bull shark because it has this very short, blunt snout. And in terms of recognition worldwide, bull sharks they do gather some interest because they are one of the three types of sharks that are usually implicated in unprovoked shark attacks. You have the great white, the tiger, which we also have in Tobago, and the bull shark. So many people actually know what a bull shark looks like. It's like a stocky body, blunt snout, very difficult for the layman because it's like a comparison with other sharks for identification.
So we would have seen some footage. I'm not sure if you got the chance to see it, of persons who
Yes.
are indicating that it would have been in the vicinity of the Buku area, and then you had it again. I think that's the Bonacor there, where they
Yes.
would normally leave for tours and so on. Is it safe to say that that was the bull shark based on what you well, not the bull
Okay.
shark, but a bull shark?
A bull shark. Okay, so I saw the one in the Bonaccord Lagoon when he came out from under the boat, and yes, you would see the short, blunt snout, and then also there are a couple of other things as a biologist. The position of the fins, there's some black markings on the dorsal fin, and then the second dorsal fin is very small compared to the first one. So yes, I would say the one in Bonaccord Lagoon, that was definitely a bull shark.
All right. Based on that attack that took place as well, that happened, would you say that there should be fear in the minds of others, based on, just as we're looking at this morning, the behavior of a bull shark, or could this very well be one off and they're out again into the ocean, going about their very own business in the deep waters?
Yeah. So I think even for me, like I told you when it happened, I was fearful, I was alarmed, and you can't tell people just, do not be fearful. I think knowledge is power. And so you really need to put things in perspective. And I mentioned one already. This is the first shark attack recorded for Tobago. We've always had sharks in our waters, and there are many different types of sharks in our waters. We've always had the bull shark as well as the tiger shark, and we've never had a shark attack. Shark attacks, they are very, very rare, and this is so, it's unfortunate as well. The nature of the attack, appears to be very aggressive, so it's just very unfortunate altogether. But if you put things in perspective, like I said, shark attacks are very rare. And the authorities are also going to put things in place, I imagine, to ensure that the waters are safe. And then there are also a couple of you yourself as a user of the marine environment. There are a couple of things that you can do, because once there's sharks in the waters, there is the possibility of an attack. That you can't get around that. But there are a couple of things that you can do to kind of reduce a possible encounter with a shark, right? So there are some things, um, so you can try to make yourself safe. It's not foolproof, but that together with the fact that shark attacks are very rare, you know, should instill some level of confidence. If you ask me if I would go into the water, the areas that they have closed off today, if they have had no shark sightings within the last 72 hours, I would be like, yeah, okay, no problem, given my knowledge. So, knowledge is power, basically.
All right, as we continue to talk about the behavior of sharks, right? And you're saying that, sometimes this attack was unprovoked, as we know, and we have sharks in
Yeah.
our waters that we've never had an attack before. And we're hearing on social media, we've seen people bringing all sorts of contributions in their own interpretation of what might have caused this. Are you in a position to say, based on your expertise and interaction, what might have been the reason for the shark coming in this type of water, like in the shallow waters?
Yeah.
Where do they normally swim? How do you have any sort of your own interpretation of why it was in shallow waters and what might have caused it to attack this person or a person?
Okay. So, yeah, so based on the information of the attack, there's not much that to go with. There's not much so when a shark attack happens, normally what they would do is that they would record conditions. They would record things like, was there fishing nearby? Was there chum in the water? Was the water murky? The type of the day? Different things so that they can try to relate an attack to a cause, right? But a lot of it is actually hypothesis and us trying to understand so that in the future, we can make ourselves safer, right? I haven't heard, I don't know, I know I also heard a lot of, well, I haven't heard of that area is actually a fishing area as well. So I don't know if they were fishing in the area, the type of, the attack occurred early. And when I talk about making yourself safe in the water, one of the things that's advised is that you do not swim during dusk or dawn, because a lot of sharks actually come closer to feed inshore at those times. Also, some of the other factors that they have related to shark attacks would include, I think, runoff from land. So if the water becomes murky, cloudy, polluted, that kind of thing. So I haven't, based on reports, I haven't picked up any factor that could possibly point to a reason. And even if we do pick up some of these factors, it's all us hypothesizing more or less that it could be this, but we're not certain, more or less.
Would you say that the actions taken in the immediate and the necessary consultations that's taking place now with regards to the closure of the beach for a limited period, is that commonplace in circumstances like these?
Absolutely, it is commonplace. It's one of the ways to allay the fear of the public and to ensure that the beach is safe um, for beachgoers. So normally, what happens when after you have a shark attack, they do close off the area and they would check to see if there are any other sightings and stuff like that within the area. So that is normal. Also, in areas where so there are, of course, hotspots where you have sharks. They know that sharks are in the area, and you usually have also heightened patrol where you have lifeguards on the beach looking out for sharks. And so sometimes you can like see the fins kind of thing, in which case they would alert beachgoers, right? I want to say, so I think I saw a release this morning where the gentleman who was attacked, he's now conscious, and I was so happy to hear that. And I want to give a big shout out to the first responders. And moving forward, one of the things that that we need to be properly equipped with is, we need our first responders to be properly trained on how to deal with a shark bite and things like that. That basically is the best defense for a shark attack, more or less. Knowing how to respond when it happens, because like I said, we have shark in our waters. There's no way you can get rid of all the shark in our waters, right? So what you need to do is that you need to be able to have a response plan. So so you have to listen back.
No situation like a current situation to ensure that we are equipped, as you said, to respond and to treat with an issue like this. And sometimes there's things that we don't expect to happen, and so we ill prepared. But I think, as you said, kudos to the first responders in this instance. And as we leave this morning, as we wrap up this conversation this morning, I know you mentioned that once there is no sighting of a shark in the area within the last 72 hours, you would be quite fine to enter the waters again and enjoy probably a swim or a dive. But for the regular man like myself, how would I'm sure you're probably not in a position to advise or whatever, but would you have any recommendation in terms of, how much longer should we kind of wait it out or to look out for other sharks or any kind of danger that we might encounter? Should we head back into the waters, like even from now?
I think what you need to do, I know the authorities, they are monitoring, so you really need to follow the guidance of the authorities. They would be on the lookout. They would make sure that there are no sharks in the waters or sighted over a certain period of time. And like I said, knowledge is power, understanding. Of course, you're always going to get, people are different. So you're always going to get those. I mean, I even have family members who's like, well, we're not going to be there again. And I was like, knowledge is power, understand. We've been bathing in that area forever. Sharks coexist with divers, swimmers, fishers. And like I said, there are things that you can do to make yourself safer. And, in Tobago, one of the things that I see is very often we bathe in the area, we fish in the area, we clean fish in the area, right? So one of the things that tend to attract sharks would be like blood or what you call chum in the water. So if you as a swimmer or a bather see that activity happening, then you can move away from that area, make yourself safer. Knowledge is power. Know the things that attract sharks and try to just reduce the possibility of an encounter, But I think the overall message is, it's very, very rare. This was an unfortunate incident, and I'm very happy the gentleman is recovering. Kudos to the first responders, because I was really scared when I saw the initial photos.
Indeed. Thank you very much there, Farahnaz Solomon, marine biologist, for joining us here this morning, certainly bringing some clarity and providing that expert perspective for us here on the matter that would have taken place in terms of the shark attack happening there, and reassuring in the circumstances. Definitely a first for us here in Tobago, and really and truly we continue to pay attention and to heed the advice. For now, the beaches are closed, but certainly it's not a case. I like the fact that she continues to place focus on, knowledge is power. You got to be informed in terms of how you choose to operate and how you choose to continue to function. So thank you very much again for joining us here on set. Viewers, at this point, we prepare to head on out to a break, and we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.